So if you would like to participate in this, you'll have to join the Zoom. And I think that the Zoom link is actually on the YouTube, in the YouTube description. So you can still join even if you're a bit late. So I'd like to start with just a short meditation just to get in the mood, which is also what we do a lot of in the retreats anyway. So if you just find a comfortable position, and we can close our eyes, take some deeper breaths, deeper than usual. And you can take a few moments to scan the body, just noticing how you feel right now. What's going on for this human in this moment? Noticing any physical sensations or emotional or energetic, energetic waves of whatever, something subtle, something stronger. And as you're experiencing the physical sensations, you may notice that there are thoughts that have something to say, some commentary. And that's no problem, but we'll just not go off into a fantasy of whatever thought wants to say. We'll just keep bringing the attention back to the physical sensations. What is here presently? Keeping it as simple as possible. Just what is here now. And in this moment, there is nothing to do. There's nothing needed, nothing missing. When we don't refer to the thinking, then there's no problem. This moment is whole and full of whatever is here right now. And there is a knowing of whatever is experienced that is not separate from the experience itself. The seeing of it, the awareness of it. And this is your true nature. That is always still, despite any movement, noise, or whatever the experience is. This knowing of it all. That is always at peace, always free, absolutely untouched. Even if in the human experience you feel fully touched. Even if your life is a mess, this knowing of it all is always at ease, in deep relaxation, is not bothered or disturbed by anything that happens. So no matter what your mental story is, this knowing of it all has no story. It simply knows. And this is who you are. This is your true nature, not the story. This is who you are beyond it all. So then again, we can bring our attention to the breath. Feeling the breath, making the belly rise and fall. And noticing the feet on the ground or the bum on the seat. And then when you're ready, we can open our eyes. So I set up this session to speak specifically about what happens in my retreats, because I feel like it's really hard to portray what magic happens there just in some text on a website. And perhaps even now it's going to be hard to portray what happens there because we're not there, right? And of course, every retreat, I mean, I've been holding retreats for about 20 years now, so many retreats, and every retreat is unique and different and surprising to me and to all the participants, I would say. Because although we plan some elements of it, it is really very spontaneous. And very much a free flow. So, first of all, the intention of a retreat. Why come to a retreat? Why would I hold a retreat also? First of all, retreats are my favorite thing to do. Here online, as much as I love to meet you like this, which is also great, it's amazing actually, technologically, that we can do this even. But in a retreat, we meet face to face, eye to eye. We can even have a hug. We can hold hands. And this physicality is so wonderful and real, right? And we feel so connected and seen. And then also spending that amount of time together, making the commitment also to spend that amount of time together. It facilitates energetically this deeper dive into this exploration of who we are and how it is lived in our lives. And it's just simply in that commitment to spend, whether it's 5-day retreat or a 10-day retreat, as I have coming up soon in Portugal, a 10-day retreat. It's quite a commitment of time. Many people have to travel to get there. And we stay together in a beautiful place. And we commit to spending this time really absolutely devoted to the exploration of ourselves, to waking up to the truth of who we are and exploring how it's lived in our lives. So it has a very different flavor to when we are just coming to like an open meeting for an evening or an afternoon where we just dip our toe in and we check it out and then we go home. So when we spend that longer amount of time together, we've already somehow surrendered to the process. And this surrender, this willingness, and this coming together of a group of people who are all passionate about the truth, this brings everyone into a deeper space. Yeah. So this is what I love about that. I love the fact that we commit to it. I know commitment can be a bit scary for some people, but actually, when we all commit, this creates a sense of safety, right? Because we know that we've all committed. We're all very human. We have our messy stuff, but here we all are willing to fully be here. We've left our lives. We've left all our usual status symbols, if we have any, and we've just come here to live very to live together and spend this time together in a very intimate way. So this creates this kind of safety comfort zone in a way where we can all kind of relax into knowing that we're all here in the same boat. Yeah. And so this creates the safety to then open up, to express yourself, to be real, to know that it's safe to express whatever comes up, and that it's all welcome. Of course, I also speak a little bit at the beginning about certain boundaries, let's say, that will create even more of a sense of safety, so that we can just really know that we are held in those boundaries. Yeah. But on the whole, it is very fluid. So practically, the retreats are usually in a beautiful place. So the upcoming one in Portugal is in this most gorgeous villa with a swimming pool and quite luxurious accommodation. And it's surrounded by beautiful nature, very quiet in the Portuguese countryside. A short drive from the beach, beautiful beaches, wild, beautiful beaches, near a little village. Yes, and so in that retreat, we tend to have a theme. So the upcoming retreat, we have the theme of the heart of freedom, and we tend to hold this theme throughout the retreat, but we hold it lightly. So, as I said, anything can still be fluid and come up, depending on the group. And the way I like to work with people is that I like to work with the paradox of the human that has all kinds of ups and downs and stories and dramas and challenges and heartbreaks and longings and, all the human stuff. But then it is all held in the knowing of who we really are, as that awareness of it all that I was speaking about earlier in the meditation. And so this paradox really creates, again, a sense of safety, because if you know that who you are is always aware and untouched, when the human is touched, as it inevitably will be in our lives, then there's a sense of safety to allow it to be expressed or explored, or to dig a little bit deeper into what exactly is going on, to shine a light of truth, actually, to explore it further, knowing that it doesn't actually mean anything about who you are, because who you are is that awareness of it all. So this really creates this sense of safety, because anything that comes up for this human is just phenomena, right? It's just sensations, it's emotions, it's, whatever is happening in your human life, but it never touches who you are. So this is what we hold in retreats, this paradox. So in every session that we have, I might give a talk, some kind of introduction to a particular theme that we'll explore in that session. But then I invite people to come up and have a dialogue with me. So we'll have quite an intimate dialogue often, and it can go in all directions. And while we're having a dialogue, then everybody else is watching and listening and feeling what might get touched in them while they're watching the two of us having a dialogue. And I ask that they don't interrupt the dialogue, so it's very much just me and the other person, and we explore whatever comes up. So you can have a specific question if you want to ask something, or you can just see what happens. And it might be that what you want to explore in that moment has come up for you in relationship to what someone else was exploring just before that, or what I was speaking about in the introduction. Yeah, and it can be a question or an exploration about something very human, or it can be more, let's say, questioning spiritual concepts or this kind of thing. I'm willing to go in any direction pretty much. Yeah, and when that dialogue has come to some kind of closure, then you go and sit down and someone else can come up. And there's always time also for just general question answer sessions or discussion sometimes. Yeah. And we do quite a lot of guided meditations like we did at the beginning of this session. And also movement. We dance a lot. At the beginning of every day, we have freestyle dancing. So we put on some music and you just move how you want to move. And you're alone with your expression of what this body wants to do. It's not about dancing together or something. It's about just how you're going to move and explore and express whatever has been moving in you related to whatever else is happening in the retreat. You might feel to express it physically. Yeah, and then also sometimes we also have some other creative sessions, some arty kind of things. Sometimes we even do some painting. Yeah, every retreat I bring in some different element of something a little bit more creative. And you don't have to know anything about art or be in any way creative. I always make it very accessible to anybody. It's just really about getting back in contact with your childlikeness. Play, actually, is about being playful. Well, same in the movement sessions, but also in whatever creative sessions we do. It's about just being reconnecting with the inner child that's always there. And it's not heavy, it's always very light and playful in the way we do it. Yeah. And whatever creative or movement session we do together, we then have a sharing, like what has been touched in you, what has moved in you in relationship to the exercise that we've just done, so that it's all brought back into our satsang sessions. Yeah. And we have our meals together. Usually, yeah, local vegetarian, wholesome meals. We all eat together, and yeah, and oh yes, about the silence. So I love to spend the first few days in silence. So when we first arrive, we have the first meal together talking, but then after our first session together, we go into silence. And this means that I ask you not to talk, essentially. I would also ask you to switch your phone off and not have contact with the outside world in that time, unless it's an absolute emergency, of course. And to really give yourself the gift of being with yourself, right? And this silence just invites everyone to just let go of whatever was happening in their lives before coming to the retreat, and allowing yourself to just really drop into being there at the retreat. So we'll still speak in our sessions together. So you'll be able to speak in a dialogue or whatever, but there'll be no talking outside of those sessions. So we'll have our meals in silence, and the free time that you have in the afternoons is in silence. Yeah, and then after, well, it depends on the length of the retreat, how many days we do, but it's usually about a quarter of the time. something like that, or maybe sometimes it's even up to a half. But in the 10-day retreat, it's about something like 4 days we'll do in silence. And then we'll take off the rule of silence. And so then you can speak. You don't have to speak, of course, but the rule is off. So this gives the opportunity to then notice what happens when we interact with others, and what old patterns get triggered, so that we can then explore them in our sessions. And I do this so that if we would have the whole retreat in silence, then and then you would go back to your normal life, it would be quite a shock. I mean, that's also beautiful, of course. There are many silent retreat places you can go to, but I do this purposely so that we can also include our human interactions in the retreat itself, so that what we are exploring in the sessions can be more easily integrated into our normal, ordinary daily life when we go back to our individual lives. So it's not such a big switch out of the retreat mode. And I find that this is very helpful. It is also really lovely to be able to connect with other like-minded people. Although I always encourage people to, let's say not talk too much chit chat. Let's say, to keep it more about a real sharing, a real connection, real meeting. And of course you can stay in silence. That's the other option. It's totally up to you. It's actually your retreat, really. So how you want to do it for yourself is absolutely welcome. And I mentioned before, we have a free time in the afternoons. So we have a schedule, right? And I ask everyone to stick to that schedule. We usually have 3 sessions a day. And then so in the afternoons, it's free time to go for a walk, relax, be by the pool if it's a retreat by the pool, go to the beach. You can go out of the retreat area if you want. You don't have to. Sometimes it's nice just to stay in the retreat environment all the time, but it's your free time. And in the retreat that we have coming up in Portugal, it's in beautiful nature, so it's lovely to go for walks in nature. And sometimes we do also group outings towards the end of the retreat, especially in a longer retreat like a 10-day one. We might all go to the beach together on the last day, something like that, just so that we start to test the water, how it's like on the outside world, but also we enjoy each other's company. It's very connecting when we've spent such a deep and intimate time together. It's very bonding. We really have got to know each other, and we can relax together, feel very at ease. And many people make lifelong friends in these retreats. I think that's generally the overview. I'm sure I've forgotten things. Just one more thing, just to say that people tend to come to the retreats with certain expectation. And that's amazing, and that's absolutely as it must be. And often what happens in the retreat in the end is nothing to do with your expectation. Your expectation might just fly out the window, and actually something completely unexpected and beautiful will happen. So you might come to the retreat hoping that you will wake up and get enlightened. And what you imagine that might be like the actuality of recognizing who you are and the impact of that in your life is probably very different to what you imagine. But it is the reality. And sometimes we have to let go of our beautiful dreams and hopes to really face what we truly are longing for. And so it's not what we think we want, but actually what we most deeply long for, beyond our ideas. Yeah. So it's not always easy. Sometimes being in the retreat can be quite confronting. But if we have a deep longing for truth and to be free and to wake up out of our limited beliefs, then even when it's confronting or challenging in some way, actually this is answering a deeper call in ourselves. There's actually, this can make us feel very grateful that we are being confronted or challenged, that we are being met with what is really here, not just sugarcoating what we'd like to happen, or we don't just have a sweet experience in the retreats. It's not about just spacing out and kind of blissing out together or something. Although, who knows, you might have some blissful experiences as well. It's all, of course, welcome. But yeah, you might also meet aspects of yourself that are a bit uncomfortable or heartbreaking. It may touch areas of your human experience that, yeah, maybe you haven't been able to or willing to see. But if we are longing to be free and to wake up, then we want to embrace all aspects of ourselves. And actually, it's a relief to bring these areas into consciousness and to awareness, to embrace all of these aspects of ourselves. And inevitably, this will then affect your daily life. If you've brought these aspects into your awareness, then this will free you up in your human daily life. Yeah. And often after retreats, I like to offer a continuation group online for like a weekly online session for 3 or 4 weeks for whoever would like to join. It's not compulsory or it's a separate thing, you know, but I offer it for those who have been in the retreat to support the integration process into normal life. Yeah. Okay, well, I've spoken a lot. So I'd love to hear if you have any questions about the retreats. And I see also there's some people here who have been to my retreats and maybe they want to share their experiences. Yeah, so I open it up to you now. Yeah, Anya.
Hi.
Hi.
it feels a bit awkward to ask. Oh, I hear myself back. To ask this question, but I also saw there is an online option, and I really get all the advantages of being present, being actually there. But could you speak a little bit about how the online retreat would look like? How it's, yeah, so I get an idea.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the online option is available. Yeah, as you say, like it is not the ideal version of holding coming to a retreat, but it can also be very beautiful. So when we've had people join online, I very much welcome them into the group as well. And in all of the group sessions, I'll have the computer there. So the online people are part of the group, just like everyone else. And I will always give, let's say, preference to the people present in the room in terms of dialogue. But if you join online, you would have time to ask questions and have a dialogue as well. You can also join the movement sessions and dance in your own home. Yeah, we try to include you as much as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have any more questions about that?
No, it was already what I had. This idea, it affirms my ideas. And a practical question, I saw in your announcement of the Portugal retreat that it was till Tuesday, but Tuesday 23rd of October. But I saw in my agenda that it's 23rd is a Wednesday. So just practical question, what's the
Oh,
last day of the retreat?
oh yeah. It's well, it's the 23rd, so
The Wednesday.
whatever the day of the 23rd is. Right now, I don't know what it
Okay,
is, but
okay.
it is the 23rd for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sorry for the confusion. Is that on my website that there's that mistake?
Yeah, on the
Oh,
website. Yeah, I think so.
okay. We will have a look at that. Yeah. Thank you for pointing it out. Okay. Thank you, Anya. And also just to say, I didn't mention before that as we have just under a month until the Portugal retreat starts, and we still have some places available, I'm offering some reduced price places for those who would like to still join at the last minute. You can still jump spontaneously and join us. So if you would like to know more about the actual price, you can just email us. The email's on the website. It's admin@dietolove.com. And that goes especially for those who are Portugal residents, but anyone who would like to join at this point is welcome. Any other questions or sharing? Maybe one of those who have been to some of my retreats would like to share their experience in some way. Christina.
Okay. Hi, I'm Unmani.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, I want to share the experience of the last retreat. That these meals together, they are very lovely because you can be who you are, and nobody. If you cry, it's okay. If you smile, it's okay. I love this. It's like a very beautiful community. You feel loved and accepted, and this truth is everywhere. I I really appreciate it, and the dancing also, and the meetings, the talking, the discoverings. It's very intense. I couldn't sleep at night. It was very intense, yeah, but it's all for the truth, or for the love, yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. As you share, I'm remembering and I'm touched by the memory of the last retreat and
Yeah.
those times together. Yeah. Beautiful. It's true. Every time I hold a retreat, as I said, I've been doing it for 20 years, but every time in that retreat environment, it's like we create our own little community and we end up feeling like, oh, we just want to live together forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We fall in love with each other, actually.
Yeah.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christina. Nicole.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I just want to mirror what Katrina says. Yeah,
Christina.
Christine. I can't see. I haven't got my glasses on. I couldn't see. I know you, but I couldn't remember your name. Maybe I should put my glasses on. Oh yes. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the retreats. They're so powerful, so powerful. And yeah, there are challenges in them. I can feel that coming up for me now, actually, though. I'm remembering those challenges. But I'm blessed to have been part of it. And I hope to do it again one day. Yeah, so I'm going to thank you. And yeah, there was something else I was going to say, but I've gone all nervous for some reason.
That's all right. You can take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, it was what I like, especially like, is that there's not the rigidity that you have with some retreats I've been on in the past. There's sort of rigid rules, which in a way doesn't help you expand. I noticed because you're not so rigid, and we did have free time. I was able to integrate that and give myself a little bit of space and room.
Yeah.
To take that on, which I really appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's a kind of balance between like we do have a schedule and there's, some boundaries, but there's also a lot of freedom and space. Yeah.
Yeah, the boundaries helped in helping you feel safe, and also to see why we're there.
Yeah.
It's not just a holiday.
Yeah, that's
But
the thing.
the space helped to take that on without it being too intense. Yeah. And I loved the movement sessions because that's I've taken that onto my not daily but almost daily life as well. Thank you, Catty. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's wonderful to move freely, isn't it?
Yeah. And also just to say that I had before then, I had done the online ones, and I found them at the time, because we had to, because it was COVID. They were really good as well. Yeah, so not as good as a live one, but very good as well.
Yeah, that's good to, I guess, to hear if you're considering an online version.
Yeah. And we did, the last one I went to, we did have somebody who was online, and it was quite fun to include him. I remember us turning the laptop round to have photographs and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you, Unmani.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Kati.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, for me, it's really a gift. I give to myself to go in a retreat with Unmani. I did it since 12 years now. Yeah, I can explore myself more and more and see all these mechanisms comes and patterns, and I can feel more free with them, and less stuck, and I can challenge myself more, and really feel free more and more, even with this all thought and mechanisms I have. So I encourage people to come. It's really nourishing, and it's a gift for ourselves, really. And just want to say thank you for your love and your authenticity. I don't know, your yourself to be you. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kati. Yeah, it's amazing actually to see. So Kati's been coming to the retreats for 12 years, she said. So people, and there are others like that who over the years I've seen change through coming to maybe one retreat a year or two sometimes, and also being part of we have a Love of Truth community online as well, so that is a continued support. But I really see people changing and evolving over time, and that in the experience of the retreat itself, you go through whatever you go through during the retreat, but then it's integrating into your life afterwards in a way that it's kind of mysterious actually how that happens and what happens, and it's of course different for everyone. But it's been amazing to watch Kati or some other people, the evolution in people's feeling more free in life, feeling more in touch with their true nature, more expressive, more willing to be more human and on the ground, and in touch with the love that we really are. So it's also in a kind of ongoing evolution. Okay. Anything else, anyone? So maybe just one or two words about the theme of this coming retreat, the heart of freedom. I like to use the word heart because to me it's about the human experience of being touched, of feeling, of being in the world and meeting ourselves and the world in whatever way that is, and allowing it all in, right? Feeling that I'm not separate, I'm not isolated, I'm actually, like, the whole world is in me, actually. So it's yeah, just feeling, yeah, really being touched and feeling our hearts. And then freedom is who we are, our true nature, that awareness of it all that is always free. And so this is, I find, like, the heart of freedom is like the paradox that I was saying before. It's the lived experience of living with our hearts open in the world, knowing the freedom that we are, and the freedom that is always free, no matter what happens in our human experience. So this will be the theme for the upcoming retreat in Portugal in October. Yeah. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you'd like to still join, please get in touch and have a look at the website. There's more details and photos there. I hope to see you. And if not this retreat, then of course you're very welcome to come to any future retreats that we have. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, and thanks to those who shared and questioned here on the Zoom, and to those watching on YouTube. So see you next time. Thank you very much.